Hello, hello. Audio test. Audio test. I think it sounds good. A bit late. A bit later than I intended to stream. But there was Minecraft Live today. So I wasn't even entirely sure if I wanted to stream. But I figured I could do a little bit of yapping. And I think I'm just gonna hang out in my survival world for a bit while I do so. Oh yeah, let's change the scene. I have forgotten that once before, and thankfully I had someone in my chat to tell me. It should capture Minecraft. Actually, I don't think I've streamed the normal. Yeah, I haven't streamed the normal version, I guess, since playing Evergrowth. So because that was a version before they introduced exclusive full screen, that gets just like automatically disabled. And as far as I'm aware, at least the way that I'm doing it, you need to have exclusive full screen on to be able to capture it. So I set that on, then you just have to reset the game. Now it should work. It's unfortunate that it can't remember those settings. You know, it kind of makes sense, like they physically did not exist before. Yeah, there we go. Now it's capturing. The settings physically did not exist before. So it's like, what is there to remember? But I don't know. I guess some way of like externally tracking your settings could be good. Are my resource packs correct? They are. I've been using the 3DX pack occasionally to test some of the new stuff, because, you know, I'm working on an update for the new drop. I accumulate so many just like random little test worlds. Kitty cats. Been a little while since I've been here. Oh yeah, I had my my cape turned off. There we go. Not sure what I want to do while yapping. I was thinking I might just try to decorate down here or something. I do feel like I should try to do more streams without much of a goal in mind. That feels kind of counterproductive, but I don't know. It might help me to get around to like just other things more. Well, anyways, new drop was revealed. I do think Mojang's marketing for it was a little questionable, to say the least. I don't know. It's like I understand what they were going for now. So to be clear about what I'm talking about, also I just remembered I wanna finish like at least the floor over at my barn, so I'm gonna work on that for a little bit. But yeah, so what happened with Minecraft Live, or with the drop, I think for like every drop, I would say it's been very consistent that they have teased the upcoming drop that they're gonna reveal. Yeah, as early as The Garden Awakens, which was essentially like the first revealed drop. I forgot about this. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how that went. You know, technically the first drop was Bats and Pots, and then there was Armored Paws, which was clearly presented like it, you know, it got a whole trailer. It was clearly presented as kind of its own thing, which was very surprising at the time. We didn't know about drops, like, yeah, just as a concept. And then, oh, that's obnoxious. Huh. Enderman be causing trouble. Oh, yeah, not these. I need water. So yeah, I don't remember how it went with Bundles of Bravery. I think that was probably in development before that year's live. And then what's the best way of doing this? It's probably in development before that year's live. And then that live announced, I didn't think it announced it as its own drop, because I remember still being very confused about all of that. But they probably talked a little bit more about it, and they revealed the Garden Awakens. I don't think they name dropped it at that time, but they, revealed the first features for it. And yeah, for that Minecraft Live, they teased the drop. And then I guess, did they tease Spring to Life? I think they did. But I guess that was the live where a certain green alien cat on Twitter had the whole inspect arc. That was a silly time. Yeah, so that was specifically like not a teaser. But then I think there was a teaser. Yes, there were teasers for some of the animals. That's right, I remember. And then yeah, there was teasers for the Happy Ghast, teasers for the Copper Age. There was, pretty sure there was teasers for Mounts of Mayhem. Was there for Tiny Takeover? I feel like, no, I totally forgot what I was going over there for. I feel like surely there were. But I'm not recalling. And then there was teasers for Chaos Cube. So I think there was teasers for Tiny Takeover. That's like the only one that I'm not remembering in this moment. Does this work? Yes. Awesome. That is perfect. Ow. So yeah, I mean, I think this was the first Minecraft Live without a teaser. So, you know, I hope you can forgive me for expecting there to be a teaser for Minecraft Live for the game drop. And the only teaser we got was in regards to the Ancient City portal opening for Minecraft Dungeons 2. And you know, I've been a steadfast non-believer in in the fourth dimension coming before the end update. I do believe we'll get the fourth dimension eventually, and it'll probably be whatever's behind the Ancient City portal. But you know, even as stern as I've been about that like it's not happening before the end update, I was feeling pretty convinced by everything that like that was the only teasers we had to go off of. And it wasn't like blatantly clear that it was for Dungeons. It was posted on Twitter, it was posted on the Dungeons account, but like everywhere else, probably just because they only have the one account, but everywhere else it was posted on the Minecraft account without any real like clarification. So, you know, it really felt like it was a teaser for the fourth dimension, honestly, like, or at least the portal opening. And like, you know, with Dungeons 2 coming out, the Minecraft Legends and Dungeons both had a vanilla tie-in leading up to it. You know, for Dungeons, Minecraft introduced the Illagers, at least as like more of a thing. I think they may have already existed to some extent. You know, as like more of a presence in the world. Oh. And for, you know, for Legends, they introduced piglins. You know, both of those were like confirmed tie-ins for those games. And of course, you know, they're things that they wanted to add to the game. It wasn't like purely they just made it up for those games and then threw them into vanilla. Yeah, like they did want them to be a part of the world, a part of the franchise, a part of the vanilla game. But yeah, they were added in part as tie-ins to those games, to those new games. So it stands to reason that they would do the same again. they would do the same for Dungeons 2. And Dungeons 2 has, you know, is seemingly introducing the fourth dimension to the series, like, properly. So you know, that's just all to say, like, I don't think it was wrong of the community to latch so hard onto the idea that a new dimension was being added. But yeah, I believe what ended up happening there is this is the earliest, because to be clear, fourth dimension was not revealed for vanilla Minecraft as of yet. Yeah, so I believe what ended up happening there was they didn't tease the drop, if I'm remembering correctly, for the very first time. They didn't tease the game drop for the first time since they've been revealed, since before they've been properly revealed. Well, that's not true. I mean, I guess kind of with the Pale Garden. But yeah, keep it simple, I guess, since they've been revealed. They didn't tease the upcoming game drop for the first time since they've been revealed, because this is also the earliest they have revealed a game drop. You know, we're still like 2.5 weeks away from the release of Chaos Cubed, and then it's probably gonna be like, it could be just a week after that they start snapshots. They start snapshots and testing for, or I guess I can just say testing. They start testing for the fall game drop. It could be just a week after Chaos Cube releases that they start testing for that. But I think more realistically, it would be at least 2 weeks, maybe even longer. Probably not, because we already know so much about it. I think they will be wanting to get it to us pretty quick. But yeah, if it is even just 2 weeks, like we are a month away from getting it in snapshots, getting it in testing. So, you know, the longest wait before that has probably been like 2 weeks. So yeah, it's like that's a fairly significant weight. That's a fairly significant difference. So yes, this is by far the earliest they've revealed a game drop. And so I think that's probably why they didn't tease it, is just because of the significant difference in how early it is. This really is like a much earlier look than normal. I forget where I put things. There we go. So yeah, that's probably why we didn't get a teaser. And then as for the Dungeons 2 teasers themselves, because I was very confused as to what those were even for. Because Minecraft Live, it featured a little tiny bit of Dungeons 2, but it did not feature like really the portal or anything like that. That's, if they do talk about it soon, that's more for the Xbox game show event, apparently. But yeah, so the teasers were for that. They were not for Minecraft Live at all. They were, I don't know if you would call this an ARG. They were like a little bit of a puzzle. There's a little like sort of game puzzle thing you can do in the Minecraft launcher right now, where when you go to the Dungeons 2 page, it has the Ancient City portal. And there's 8 note blocks laid out, and they each play a different note. And if you go through the different, you only really need to look at 2 different teasers. I mean, maybe technically you need to look at 3 different ones, but the like kind of second part of it is pretty simple to just guess. But yeah, you look at the different teasers to figure out like the correct order of the notes, and then you play it in sequence, in the correct sequence in the launcher, and then the portal opens and reveals a countdown to the Xbox game show. And you know, if I was more, I guess, skeptical about it, I could have figured that that is just all it is. That's just the whole thing. You know, I'm actually gonna go to the Nether because I keep not getting Crimson Nylium, and I need that, so I'm gonna go grab that. Yeah, if I was a little more skeptical, I could have figured like that was just the whole purpose of that. But I was expecting teasers, you know? I was like really just convinced that there was gonna be teasers for Minecraft Live. And so I thought that's what those were. What's my render distance right now? Lower than it needs to be. Ooh. I'm being a little reckless. Thinking is hard. Multitasking is hard. Is this... Surely this is the same bastion I've already been to. And that's one of my torches. Torches don't spawn in here, right? Yeah, this is definitely the bastion I've already been to. I just wasn't expecting to come across it from this angle. Where is... Spear? Scary. I'm also gonna get myself lost if I'm not careful. Oh gosh. It's so dark. Where is a crimson forest? Should have brought fire resistant potions. That would have been smart. I think I do have them in my ender chest, actually. But yeah, what was I thinking? Something about something, probably. Oh yeah, I have soul speed. I kinda totally forgot about that. Well, yeah, I really expected a teaser. Happy gas! Or dried gas. Yay. I really strongly expected a teaser. And so it just felt like that had to be the teaser because it was the only teaser they put out. But yeah, it was just for the launcher. We're fine. Convenient that there was a block right where I happened to be falling. Oh my goodness. I have my fire resistance potion, so I should be fine if something goes wrong. Yeah, did I have anything else to say on the matter? I am not sure that I did. Well, yeah, I guess just Mojang, please work on your marketing. Love y'all, you know. I adore the developers. I think they do a fantastic job with this game. I'm always thrilled to see what new updates they've got in store, what new drops they're working on. And, you know, I'm not remotely upset about any of that. Oh, I have the brightness set to moody still. That's, yeah, that helps. Okay. It's like, why is it so dark? I know the nether is dark, but it's so dark. Yeah, just I hope they can, you know, get a better grasp of marketing. Like, to some degree, I think they're not wrong for just ignoring how the community is gonna respond to things, because like it is ultimately out of their control, and like people are gonna go crazy and see things that aren't there, and it to a certain extent it is inevitable. But like, just like put a Dungeons 2 marker on it or something. Like, I don't know, just make it a little like extra obvious that it's not for the vanilla game. But anyways, that whole rant aside, I really am like thrilled about the new game drop, which is an autumn forest. I think that is phenomenal. That has been probably my most desired biome for a while now. I can't think of anything that I've been wanting more. You know, I think like that is the one. That's the big biome that I've felt has been sorely lacking in the game. Oh, hey, I recognize this bridge. Because I built it. will say there's good reason that I haven't brought Crimson Nylium back with me. Where even can I find any? I believe if I go through this fortress. Oh, goodness. Have I not gone down here? Because there's no torches. Well, that's all it is. Probably didn't put torches in them because they're just dead ends, but you know, I don't know if that's a good reason not to. But yeah, new game drop. Yes. The new game drop is an autumn forest. Oh, that was scary. And yeah, no, I think that has just been my most anticipated biome to add to the game, because you know, Minecraft doesn't have seasons. This is, of course, known, and I think that's okay. What Minecraft does instead of seasons, that I think does work, is it provides different biomes representing different seasons. And then, you know, that allows players to like have those sorts of environments and make whatever they want with them. And that's great. That's in a sense even better than changing seasons for the type of game that Minecraft is, because you know, it lets you have full control over that experience. However, fall has just been completely absent from that sort of equation, that whole idea. I mean, like, I don't know, there might be some biomes, like maybe a regular, you know, taiga, a spruce forest without any snow. Maybe you could argue that's kind of autumn themed, because it's like a cold biome, but there's no snow, so it doesn't quite feel wintry. And that might technically be true, but it's not as satisfyingly like autumn. You know, it doesn't convey that feeling nearly as well as it could, I think. Okay. It is in an awkward spot, but Crimson Forest. I did just remember, however, this place is kind of scary because there are hoglins. Okay, I'm glad I can just use Silk Touch on these. Pick up some of the Crimson Fungus while I'm at it. And of course, some of the wood. Yes, so yeah, just after all this time, we finally have autumn. We finally have autumn in Minecraft, like properly. And I'm very, very excited about that. And yeah, you know, I'm sorry to everyone who like really did get their hopes up for New Dimension. I understand where I understand where like the feeling came from that would happen. That would genuinely happen, because it did feel like it was gonna happen. But it didn't, and that's okay. You know, I understand the logic of, you know, don't get your hopes up, because it's better to be surprised than disappointed. And I think that is great advice. But it doesn't work for me. I just... Oh. Well, hello there. I love, like, I don't know, thinking about the possibilities of things, and I don't know, what do you even say? Not much right now, because I am thinking. Warped forest. Actually, I should make sure that my nether compass is correct. Okay, so this one is probably for this one might just be broken. Okay. And this one is for the Nether Fortress. And this one is probably for the home portal. Yeah, I like, I don't know, I just like theory crafting things and like imagining what could happen and getting excited about the possibilities and, you know, constantly hoping that it could finally be time for the combat update. So I get excited about things, and then they often don't happen, and there might be a slight twinge of a slight tinge of disappointment from that, but I accept it and I move on, and You know, you just... You're left with what is, what has been like properly revealed, and you know, just be excited and happy about that. So I don't necessarily advise that for everyone, but that's kind of the way that I go about it, and I don't know if it made any amount of sense because I take so long to get my thoughts across. Yeah, you know, it works for me. But yeah, so I did... Oh, dang it. I did kind of get my hopes up for something big. And that's okay. Because now it didn't happen. But we've got a very exciting autumn forest to look forward to. And that's great. Now, I should probably talk more about the like actual features of the drop. Because it's all very nice, very pleasant, very exciting. With a new forest comes a new wood set. The wood set I think is very interesting. I was not expecting it, but I do think it's appropriate. The I was actually just thinking about an autumn forest recently and like what color wood they could do. And it's tough because like you have 3 different leaf colors, you know, red, orange, and yellow. So like what color would you theme it around? What color of those 3 would you potentially pick? I feel like there's not really a correct answer. And I was kind of thinking like, you know, probably just orange is like a safe bet for that. But then, you know, orange is orange is the color of acacia. And let's see, mangrove wood. Yeah, both of these. Mangrove wood is like, it's pretty red, but it's like there's a slight tinge of orange in it. It's not quite like a full red. I think you could do like in between this, and this is probably what I personally would have gone for is in between these, but you also don't really need an in between of these. I mean, you could also do like a lighter orange that's like closer to yellow, and then maybe that would be more interesting. But yeah, you know, it's just it's difficult to really pick something there. Little dried ghast. So I think what Mojang went with is really good. It's just gray. It's a warm gray, as they describe it. And I think that is going to be phenomenal. You know, it's going to pair really well with any like lighter gray blocks. I think it's going to be like kind of a alternate to oak planks is how it feels to me. It's like a similar tone as that. It's like a fairly neutral tone. You know, when you think about it, we kind of don't have a lot of neutral woods. I feel like that's correct. I feel like that's accurate to say. Yeah, like looking through all of these. You know, I think the only ones that I would describe as neutral are probably oak and spruce and pale oak. I mean, even pale oak is like kind of like I don't know if you would describe that as neutral necessarily, but it's white, so it's like I think it is neutral for a lighter palette. But yeah, maybe neutral in like a different kind of way. I'm tempted to call cherry planks neutral with how like kind of, what do you call that, pastel they are? But they're pink, so I don't know if that would be accurate. And then, you know, maybe birchwood. But also, like, I don't really feel like it would be considered neutral. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly how you would define a neutral palette. But like these two, I think are the main ones that like really stand out to me as like I would confidently call these neutral block sets. And then again, probably pale oak just because it's white. But yeah, so this new what is it, like poplar wood feels very similar to oak planks, oak wood to me, in just being a very neutral tone, but it's gray instead of brown. It's just a nice, like, somewhat light, warm gray. And I think that's going to be really nice. Also, I am realizing, yeah, I need a new slot for another wood set, for another wood type. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I also still don't know what I'm gonna do about cinnabar and sulfur. Okay, there's my crimson nylium. Good. I guess it's... I don't know how I want to organize all of this. Where did I even put the fungus? Oh. That would be in here. Of course. Also, this is where I should put the warp blocks. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Obviously. Obviously, it should act as the leaf block because that is, you know, functionally the purpose that it that's what it is. That's what they are. Okay, now where are the shroom lights? Because I definitely have shroom lights already. I mean, I'm using them right there. Hello? I'm so confuzzled. Where are my shroom lights? Okay, well, I'm just gonna put them above the glowstone for now because, like, I guess that's correct. I don't know. Anyways, what was I saying? Something about some, probably. I want bone meal. I don't know that I have a good place to lay all of this out. I guess I'll just go down here. It would be kind of interesting if I used this area. Oh, you don't need silk touch at all for those. Okay, how does... Okay. You bone meal the netherrack next to the nylium. I see, I see. But yeah, poplar wood, very cool and stuff. Gray wood set, very nice. It is funny that we have now gotten, you know, counting the, including the autumn forest that's been announced. Within the drop system, we've now gotten 3 biomes, and they have been grayscale and orange with Garden Awakens, red and yellow with the Sulfur Caves, and now red, orange, yellow, and gray. Also, why does it say the broadcast has ended? Okay, it hasn't actually. I don't, maybe my phone, maybe it just crashed on my phone. I don't know. Let me check my internet. Is that good? No. Internet is, oh, actually it's fine. Maybe my internet went out for a second. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Okay. Well, anyways. Yeah, so the this has silk touch. Yeah, I guess I'll just use that for now instead of shears. Well, I don't know if I even really should. Yeah, I don't think I should worry about the weeping vines, actually. I should have my boots for feather falling. So I'm gonna grab more netherrack. Yeah, the biomes we've gotten so far have been grayscale and orange with Garden Awakens, or with the Pale Garden, red and yellow with Sulfur Caves, and red, orange, yellow, and gray with the new Autumn Forest. So very like red and grayscale. Which is interesting. You can compost these, right? I'm gonna check that. Cause if you can't, that might be a little bit of a problem. I don't actually have that much netherrack here. Well, I know I've got plenty of netherrack, so that's not necessarily a concern. Okay, I get easily distracted. What was I talking about? Oh. You know, I'm actually not gonna worry about the warped for now. If I want to fill all of this in, which I think is kind of a fun idea, I need a lot more netherrack. Anyways. Yeah, I think that's interesting that they've done so much. They've like gone so hard on the on the red and gray. I love me some red, so I'm certainly not complaining. But yeah, definitely these are compostable. Good. It's very interesting that the two most recent wood sets we're getting are white and now gray. Coincidence? Maybe. But I kind of think not. Yeah, wow, that's nearly a stack just like that. That's crazy. Oh. place the nylium? I didn't feel like that's how that would work. Because it needs the nylium to grow. But I guess it does. How strange. These, oh, but it's not guaranteed? Okay, well. That was interesting. Yeah, I don't know what to think then. Maybe it's just like grass. Maybe it's just like a random tick thing that when there's a block on it, it... Let's test that. I didn't think that's how the nylium worked. Maybe it is. Okay, what else? Yeah. Okay, so it is... It's like grass. That's so interesting. On the bright side, I think I must be getting my bone meal back. My bone meal's worth with all of this. All of this wart block. But yeah, possibly the least exciting thing, but still pretty cool. I am excited about it. The what do you call it? The red shrub? Is that what it's called? Oh, okay. Well, I realized what was happening there a bit too late. Annoying skeletons. Grr, grr, grr. Of course, it's my fault for not wearing armor, but it's not my fault that armor it just obstructs your skin and it isn't all that appealing to me. I'm still holding this fire resistance potion. I do not need to be doing that. Okay. wasn't just empty, was it? Oh, glad I found that. Okay, well, I did have a shield. I did think I had a shield. But I swear there's something else. What? What was supposed to go there? Well, not that. I think they should add little, like... I think they should make your dropped items glow a little bit or something. I don't know. I just... Or actually, no. They just need to make it so that they don't despawn. I'm fine needing to, or being able to like miss things if I just don't have to worry about it disappearing. Yeah, maybe I did have that inventory slot open. I don't remember. Anyways, sorry, I'm very scatterbrained. The red shrub, not a huge addition by any means, but it's nice. It's essentially, you know, a bush, but it's red and it is not color tinted, so it doesn't change with the biome tint, which is lovely. Oh, it's literally that. Okay. Yeah, it's the cherry wood I had in my inventory all along. Wonderful. So, yeah, red shrubs, not a crazy addition, but you know, it's nice. It's a nice, quaint little addition. You know, people like decorating with red plants, and chains. That's what I'm looking for. I should do it. Yeah. This will just give us a little bit more in that regard, and some like more natural overworld plants rather than, you know, nether plants, which, like, it's not a bad thing to use those by any means, but it's nice to have something more like just more natural, I guess, more of a regular plant. Oh yeah, and then there's a new structure. The abandoned camps. And those are a very simple addition. You know, it's just... Okay, I had a feeling I had that backwards again. Ah, but I need 2 of them. So that's kind of perfect. Yeah, the abandoned camps, new structure. And it's kind of like... What do you say? It's lovely. It's kind of on brand with... What's a good comparison? Maybe like the desert well? Like, it's just a very small structure. You know, it's just kind of existing. Yeah, probably not gonna have like any crazy use. It might have some significance, like maybe you can get explorer maps or something. But I don't think it really needs to. You know, it's mainly like it's a world building thing. You know, it's this like mysterious abandoned camp. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of like variety in the way that they generate. So, you know, maybe different shapes, different colors, perhaps, different sorts of like, I guess, comedies around them. Apparently, like one might have a copper golem or something. I imagine probably like copper golem statue, not an actual working one that's moving around. And genuinely, like, I do think the game could benefit a lot from just like little structures like that kind of populate the overworld, or any dimension really. And it just adds a little more depth to the world, to your adventures. It's just something that you can stumble upon and wonder about what it's doing there. What, you know, what stories does it tell? I wanted to make these crimson, but I might actually prefer the warped here. It's a really nice texture in it. It does fit the colors. Oh gosh, yeah, and the abandoned camps are probably the least crazy thing involved with that. They are also adding wool stairs and slabs, which, you know, that's been a suggestion for so long, to the point where like you kind of just had to assume it wasn't gonna happen. You know, I expected like concrete stairs and slabs and walls much more than wool. But they're adding wool stairs and slabs, which is crazy. And yeah, that also means it's the first colored stair and slab blocks that we're getting. You know, that just like hasn't existed. You look in the colored blocks tab, where, you know, all the blocks that come in all 16 different colors, nothing. So it's honestly like massive deal that is now happening. Really, really cool to see. I'm actually gonna dip back into the nether and grab a bunch of netherrack that I got from ancient debris mining. So yeah, wool stairs and slabs, massive deal. Oh, that was nice. Landed perfectly on that block of tuff. Oh, and of course I just put my fire resistance potion back away. Well, I think that is fine. Where was that? Right, it's down here. Ow. code. Oh, I like the 3D hammer. I think it's worth breaking the vanilla conventions a little bit for the sake of this. Oh yeah, this... no. Never mind. I think I maybe marked it out. I think there's more of a proper way. I don't know. This is probably fine. A little, spicy of a path. Yeah, I can just mine it out a little bit. Oi! Not a fan of the head hitters. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's everything. Oh yeah, so here's the proper staircase that I mined up. And then I don't remember how this connected over, but I remember that it did. I mean, I got back somehow. Maybe by just going up this way. Oh. Cool. Yeah, so I think that's everything that they revealed at in the showcase. I think it's called is it the Dapple Forest? It's either the Dapple Forest or like the Dappler Forest. I think it's just Dapple Forest. And then yeah, the poplar trees, the poplar wood. Oh, and I guess I kind of forgot to talk about the leaves. You know, it is an autumn forest, so I feel like it kind of goes without saying, but yeah, the leaves come in 3 colors. You know, red, orange, and yellow. And we don't know for certain, but I think it's a very safe bet, and I would be very insistent that it change if this wasn't the case. But I think it's very, very likely and safe to say that the leaf colors will not be biome tinted, and they will remain their unique colors across all biomes. That's definitely how it should be. And so that is very, very exciting. Currently we have some unique leaf colors. It's really just 2. There's cherry leaves, and the pale oak leaves, which are gray. There's also flowering azalea leaves, which have purple flowers on them. But the leaves themselves are still green, so I don't really count those. The azalea leaves are interesting though, as you know, untinted, and so static colored leaves, but the color is just green. But it is really nice to have that as an option. should start lighting this place up sooner rather than later. But yeah, so it's really just cherry leaves as like a colorful leaf block. Pale oak is great for having gray leaves. Yeah, you know, there's other leaf colors in the world, and those just haven't been present in Minecraft. So it's really cool to see that change. And yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of really beautiful builds with those leaf blocks. I think probably like the red and yellow especially. Like the red is gonna be like a really standout color. You know, there's not really anything that's like anything else that's so dark, and of course the only other thing that is close to red is again the pink cherry leaves. Hello, Enderman. Okay, I'm glad those spread downwards. That's nice. I want to have some amount of the nylium on hand. I don't technically need a lot because I just need the netherrack and then some amount of nylium to be able to use as a base to spread to the netherrack. Broken clocks. Oh, there's that little notification again. I tried to disable that. Yeah, just kind of... I'm just kind of ranting about the... about the stuff at this point. Or, not ranting, but like... I don't know. Talking in circles, perhaps. Oh yeah, of course, you get the twisting vines from this. That's cool. Genuinely, that like turquoise color does work really well with the overworld's green. I remember in the last season of Hermitcraft, beat-ups used just a little bit of it. Just for little pops of blue. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, it was very long-winded. Oh, hang on. What does it look like if I hold a sign? Because I think it's gonna look not good. Yeah, I need to fix that. That is not an issue in the published builds of my packs. It's an issue with something that I'm working on. Wait, where Bush? There, Bush. Also, glow lichen. This is another thing that I need a whole bunch of. There's that sound again. What's a good way of setting this up? What if I do this? Oh. Oh, wait, that did work. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so I in a very, you know, ADHD long-winded way, I believe I talked about everything they showed at the live. I'd be shocked if someone actually like listened all the way through to that. Something I need to work on. I'm just a very, very slow speaker. But yeah, there was 2 other announcements that came after live, which is so weird. You know, one of them I wasn't even sure if it was real, because like people are talking about it, but I still haven't seen like an official source of it, but I'm pretty sure it's real, which is hay beds. Sorry, it's not that one. Well, I guess I'll start with that one. That one has been posted by multiple, like a lot of content creators. Apparently they all got like kind of a private look at it, and they got permission to tell people about it. So they're adding hay beds, which are effectively sleeping bags. You know, that's been a suggestion for a while, to have sleeping bags, which are like a temporary form of bed where you can sleep away the night without resetting your spawn. And that is exactly what they do, but they come with decently significant drawback of they break upon use. They're a one-time use item, or block, I guess. But it's not too severe of a drawback because they're made out of hay. They're currently made out of 3 hay bales, which honestly, that is like maybe a little pricey feeling. But wheat is also quite cheap, so I don't know that it's like a big deal. I wouldn't mind seeing them get a little cheaper though. But yeah, so like fairly cheap item, and they're stackable up to 16. Whereas beds normally, of course, are not. Actually, I do wonder what that's gonna mean for like sleeping and trying to use them in the nether or end. Are they still gonna explode? Or maybe they'll just break? Because that, surely they can't just, unless they want to fully embrace the chaos of exploding beds, like surely they can't just churn hay bales into weapons of mass destruction that are stackable when in other dimensions. That would be crazy. I just now thought of that, and I don't know what they're gonna do with that. But I'm gonna guess they just break. I don't think they're gonna explode. They just break. I think that. Or just for funsies, let us just like sleep in them and not actually, you know, pass the time or anything, but just have a nice little rest. Honestly, I wish you could just do that in general. Just like, you know, it would be less it'd make things more confusing, I guess. Like, you know, if you can get in bed at any time of day, it'd be a lot harder to know when like you're actually sleeping. And how's my internet looking? Because I saw it's fine currently. My stream was looking real choppy for a second there. What was I just wanting to grab? Bone meal. Again. Yeah. Just wanted to make that feel a little more chaotic, and like it's kind of reaching out like over here. It's not as noticeable because it's similar color as the netherrack, but it was definitely like very flat. I like having little areas of like nether corruption like this. I think that's cool. I wasn't planning for anything like that in this world, but I had the idea, so you know, might as well roll with it. Yeah, so hay beds, you can sleep on them to, well, you know, pass away the night, as you do, and they don't set your spawn, so they don't reset your spawn, which makes them fantastic for adventures, but they do break upon use, but also stack to 16. So, you know, there's some give and take, and I thought about it a little bit, and I do think I like that they break upon use, because it kind of reinforces what they're used for, which is, you know, inherently temporary. They're meant as their functional purpose is as a temporary thing. You know, since they don't set your spawn, they're purely meant for like kind of in the moment, just, you know, sleep away the night. I think it is appropriate for them to break upon use. And it's just like one of those things where, like, it's not something that you would likely see in a mod, because sleeping bags have definitely existed in mods, but I think it's like little elements like that that make it feel more vanilla, that make it feel more like a proper gameplay feature, I guess. Because, you know, it's good for features to be inconvenient at times. And it's just, I think that's something that mods often don't like to do. Now, I haven't played with a lot of mods, so I can't, like, I can't fully say that. You know, I'm sure some mods do care more about that sort of thing. And those are probably pretty good mods. And it would be very, very silly, very, very funny if I say all that and then Mojang end up going back on that because the community has an uproar or something. That is not impossible. I hope that doesn't happen. The community can be pretty unchill about things, but I mean, you know, whatever Mojang decides to do, it is what it is. I would also be fine with them not breaking upon use. But, like, I think I get what they're going for, and I would approve of them standing their ground. But yeah, the other thing, the thing that I still don't know where this image came from, is they're adding shelf mushrooms, which you may recognize from the birch forest concepts from the Wild update. It's been a long time coming. There was quite a lot in that concept art that people really latched on to, rightfully so. I think it was beautiful concept art, and it really made that biome feel much more unique and interesting. And then, you know, the Wild update turned into the Deep Dark update, which I think should have, I think that should have just been the goal from the start with that update. It was just focus on the Deep Dark, focus on the ancient cities. But they didn't realize at the time that that's the direction it was going to take. So who knows what else they might have wanted to do in that update, but they did not focus hardly at all on like overworld ambiance like they kind of talked about wanting to do. And so yeah, instead, in Spring to Life, we got a new carpet flower with the wildflowers. I don't have any, but yeah, the yellow and white wildflowers they added to, I believe, meadows and of course the birch forest. And then now in this fall drop we're getting the shelf mushrooms, and hopefully they're going to be in more than just the autumn forest. I'm sure they will be in the autumn forest, but they weren't shown off in live, so we don't actually know what the plan for that might be. But I very much hope it's like just kind of a more general feature in like most forests, but at the very least birch forests in addition to the new autumn forest. That would be lovely. It does sound like that is a real feature that's happening. Again, I don't know where it came from, but I don't think it's like somehow fabricated by someone. People have been talking about it like it is very much real. So that is very exciting, I would say. Oh. Well, hello there. Little baby chick. Yeah, you live here now. Please don't go in the fire. Where did you go? Please don't go in the fire. I fear this fireplace is not baby-proof. I am quite certain that any of these baby mobs currently in here could pathfind or could fit into this space if they so chose. You're very cute though. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, I do think the shelf mushrooms are real. It's just really confusing the way that they've been revealed. And supposedly I've heard they function. Oh gosh. I've heard they function similar to slime blocks. And I assume that doesn't pertain to their stickiness, but rather bounciness, which I had wondered about when I saw them. So it sounds like they will have, you know, they'll have like a hitbox. You can stand on them, and it sounds like they will be probably bouncy when you land on them. So I think that sounds really fun, and I'm very excited about them. down here now. That's fine. Okay, well. I guess it doesn't say I've been streaming for as long as I have. Because the stream kind of cut out at some point. Don't know how much was missed there. Hopefully it's all still on YouTube. Yeah, I think so. I think I wanna get a new Ethernet cable switch. I don't know what exactly you'd call that, but that might be the cause of my internet problems. It doesn't really feel like it, but I mean, when I fix it, it's by like unplugging or like replugging the cables, which largely involves that switch. So, and I talked to my brother about it, and he said that is the oldest component that I am working with. So there's a good chance that it's because of that, even if I don't understand exactly how that makes sense. Spin. But yeah, I've managed to talk about Minecraft Live for about 2.5 hours. Not because I'm good at talking, more so the opposite. I am, well, it's hard to multitask, hard to focus on two things at once, and I'm just generally kind of long-winded in how I talk, and yeah. I'm trying to work on it, it's... I think part of why I'm interested in trying out this whole streaming thing is just practicing talking more, because that's not something that I tend to do a whole lot. But yeah, I think that is going to be all for today. Let's see, it's Saturday, so should be back on Monday, and then I guess I'll either be playing Hollow Knight or more Evergrowth, the Minecraft Evergrowth map. Don't know which it's gonna be. I think probably Hollow Knight, because I didn't do that today, but we'll see what I'm feeling. Yeah. Excited for the new Minecraft drop. Curious to see more about Dungeons 2. And, just in general, I love this game. Whatever kind of grievances may crop up now and then, like, it's not that big of a deal. I just love this game. It's a good game. And I think the developers continue to do a fantastic job. But yeah, I shall see you later. Farewell.